Thank you for watching my fire tank loadout video. If you guys do like the video, please like the video, leave a comment, or subscribe. And if I get good feedback for these, then I will be making more loadout videos for you. Thank you. Alright, welcome guys. Today I'm going to be posting for you a tank loadout. First, however, I will be showing you guys my loadout. As you can see, I need to spend my PowerPoints in order to show you guys, but basically I'm going to show you guys what is the loadout I use. And again, tanking is definitely unique to each and every player, so everything I do could be sucky for you or could be sucky for somebody else, but it's great for me. And then again, remember that it's basically just, yeah, it's just different for everybody. Whatever, what can I say? So I already kind of did my PowerPoints here, so I'm going to show you guys what I am using, or what I use. Now, of course, we all have to get the very first top one. I usually go for Burnout. Burnout is one of our immunities, and I'm going to also explain basically how to use it, I guess. Maybe not now, not in this video. I'm going to just show you loadouts first. Now, I really do hate when people make a loadout video for DC Universe for a certain class, and they don't really show you how to use the move. It doesn't mean just because you have the move, you're a good tank. You know, I could give you my loadout, doesn't mean anything. It's all about how you use it. But I'm going to explain every power to everybody, and I'm going to explain how I use it and how it's useful for me. So what I grab is the first one, Immolation, on the top, and since I do need to grab Inflame in order to get Burnout, I will do that. Actually, I have to grab two. My mistake. I'm sorry. Your two supercharges unlock once you grab that, and you have to choose either between Volcanic Calamity and Reignition. I choose Reignition. This is a DPS move, Volcanic Calamity. Do not use it as a tank. Reignition, it's going to ignite nearby enemies, damaging and knocking them down while healing yourself instantly. Great move, 25% cost. It'll give you an extra one if you, I believe, if you use the chess mod. So pretty much you'll have a bunch of these if you do use the chess mod or so for it. I personally don't use that chess mod, but again, that's another video another time. Burnout, explode with thermal energy, knocking enemies away from you. The intense heat heals you for a small amount and bestows resistance to control effects for a short time. Read that again. And bestows resistance to control effects for a short time. This is amazing. As you can see, Tank Roll provides immunity to control effects and removes control debuffs to you and up to 3 teammates. Now, what does that mean? In PvP, you'll be using this move a lot. You'll have to save it because it doesn't actually go off immediately. So you're going to have to basically use this sparingly and be careful with it. Usually somebody calls out, when you have a red symbol under your name, that's when you're going to be popping this thing. This thing gives you an immunity from it. It wipes it off of you completely. It wipes it off your teammates, which is great because they don't have to worry about being debuffed or anything like that. So it's definitely something you need to use. It's also really good to use if you get encased in anything because you use it, you pop out instantly. And as a tank, you cannot afford to be stunned for more than a couple seconds. So keep that in mind, guys. And as I should have said is you get 15 power points at the top there. You can see you get 15 power points. I'm going to show you guys basically why I use so little. As you can see, I only used 4 in the last tree. So keep that in mind. I'm going to use 1 here. I grab Absorb Heat. Absorb Heat is a range single taunt move. Amazing. Great move. It consumes the heat from your enemy's body, causing damage. Absorbs heat from burning enemies, will stun them and heal you. So if they're lit on fire, by any means, you're going to get healed for using this. Another great thing that I guess they didn't explain is that this move stuns. if the enemy is on fire, you have a chance of stunning them. And as you know, stuns work on dominance. So the higher your dominance, the better your stun. It's amazing because you can stun the crap out of anything basically with this, as long as the enemy doesn't have an immunity on it, which would mean that your controllers are probably not controlling enough to give the enemies immunity, so which is good because, you know, you want to be able to pull them. If there's too many immunities on the enemies, they won't get pulled sometimes. So, but again, controlling is good. You need the crowd control from them at times, so. But keep it in mind, amazing move. Aggro is based on might, so basically this is one of the best moves that you can do because it's like an instant piss off your enemy. So again, this is what I use. Great taunt move. Taunt move, remember I said taunt move, not a pull. So from here you can grab Detonate or Wildfire. Personally, I choose Wildfire because, not that I've ever had to use it, but it's another good tank move. But again, that's for a different loadout. Lift your enemy with a thermal updraft, damaging and knocking them down. I don't use that. I go into backdraft. And then I have to grab... Oh, well, let me first go back to backdraft. Ignite an explosive backdraft, damaging and pulling enemies towards you. Heals you when used against burning enemies. Alright, I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to say this just once. If you're a fire tank and you don't have backdraft, you are not a tank. You should not be tanking. Please switch to another class. Please switch to DPS. You have to have this move. This is the move to have. You gotta have it. Like, I don't understand how the fuck you're gonna pull without it. So, I mean, that's just how I'm gonna say it. Burning Determination engulfs yourself in focus flames, removing harmful effects and healing yourself instantly. The next 3 incoming attacks will also provide healing, and you will become resistant to debuff and control effects for a short time. Inflicts burning to cause damage over the time. Tank roll. Extends immunity against debuffs and effects to allies. So, that's another immunity move. You basically have 2 immunities. Now, that's basically it for me in this tree. I don't grab anything else. But as you can see, I have 6 points left over. So what do you do with 6 power points as a fire tank? What can you do? Alright, let's go into iconics. Now, personally, people would say, you know, you could do whatever the hell you want. You know, you could probably grab this hard light shield if you wanted. You could grab Amazonian Deflection if you wanted. Hell, you could even grab the Clown Box because, you know, you're stupid enough to put yourself in a box and keep yourself there. Don't ever do that. You could use Word of Power, which is actually pretty decent because in PvP, let's say, I mean, it's very little, but you could heal yourself, stun enemies around you, and give yourself power back, which is, again, decent. But again, that's PvP. That's something that, like, you know, I guess you would use in an extreme, desperate, you know, kind of thing. But, you know. Now, I see tanks using super strength. I want to slap them. I want to really just slap the shit out of them because it's stupid. X-ray, nobody should ever get X-ray, especially as a tank. You already get perception. Freeze breath. Oh, this is the best. Heat vision and freeze breath. If you're a fucking tank, do not grab this. I don't care how much of a noob and how much of a, like, Superman wannabe you be. Like, you just want to be Superman and you just want the freeze breath and the heat vision. If you see anybody using a heat vision or a freeze breath, kick them out of the raid immediately. Just don't even ask. Just don't even. Just it's ridiculous. Never. We're gonna grab these at the bottom. These at the bottom. These 8 down here, pretty much, are your important inates. These are extended from your like when you're setting your skill points. If you guys saw my other video where I was putting my skill points into inates, you're gonna put them here because basically what they do is they enhance your stats, and you want to take advantage of it. But being a fire tank, being a tank at all, you don't ever want to grab these two. These are the weapon experts. These are the ones that boost your damage. And you're not going for a damage build, basically. When you're tanking, you don't want to be doing damage. That's a different video I'll make another time to explain to you guys, like how to do damage as a tank. That's more of an expert kind of thing. I would say leave that more to pros, because you're a tank, remember, about 100% of the time, if you're the tank and the only tank and you go down, that rate is just gone to hell. Like, that, you're done. So don't worry about attacking. Your worry, your focus is survivability, and keep it that way. So what we're gonna grab, what I like to grab, let's say you're short on points, I would grab the 100 health, the dominance, and then I grab these two, your healings, critical healings. I grabbed that, I guess, in the wrong order. Remember, I told you guys, don't go for healing magnitude. Do not go for healing magnitude first. Go for healing chance first. That's better. Remember, the smaller number's the better one. So pretty much you're going to grab these two, and then guess what? I have enough to get more defense and more power. So I got myself some more power. And my training dummy just shot me some power. Great. So that's what your points should be spent on. And basically, here's what your loadout is going to look like. Personally, this is how I set it up. You guys can do however the hell you want. It's perfectly fine. Low pressure. And then we got reignition here, alright? Okay, cool. So basically, let me go back into that screen and actually let me show you personally better. You're going to use Burning Determination. That's the one that gives you immunities, tank roll. Extends immunity against debuffs and effects to allies. Now, I'm not sure if they raised this or anything like that. I don't know if they added this. It's supposed to be for 8 people, but it doesn't say that anymore. So I assume it may also extend it to pets as well. But this move does extend to everybody in the group. So it's another great move because it sets targets on fire, and the next 3 moves will heal you. So when you use it, you're going to want to do... I was in DPS roll. When you use it, you're basically going to hit it. I would say hit it and just block up. And you see as you're blinking right there for those few seconds I was just blinking, I'm going to show you a burnout for a second, because check out for when Khiron blinks, when his body starts blinking. Alright, you see that? That means he's immune. Immunities basically are going to keep you from being controlled, keep you from being stunned, knocked back, or so. If you're flying in the air, if you get punched far away or something like that, you could pop an immunity, you'll drop right down to the ground and you'll be fine. They are a must because they actually extend to your teammates, and they also get them out of stuns. Not every stun, because again, it's depending on the dominance of the enemy. So usually harder raids are going to make the enemy stun and permanently kind of stun sometimes, and there's just nothing you can do about it. But your focus is always to keep on the boss, pretty much. If you think about it, pretty much when you go to a controller, let's say, as a controller's job, they're to give power back to the group, and then they're to control the crowd. Now, as a controller, you don't waste power trying to control the crowd and then give back power, because what you're going to end up doing is exhausting your power bar to the point where you can't give power back to the group, which is a bad thing. So it's basically the same effect here. You're not really, like, I used to tank personally myself. I used to, before I got, I guess, a little better with the immunities. I didn't really like the immunities. I like to just keep myself alive, which is what I'll show you in the other build that I'll be doing. You use these immunities to basically protect everybody else. You're going to be using those immunities to get everybody out of stuns and everything like that. And they only heal you for a very small amount, so it's not really all that that great, you know what I mean? So, as a heal move. So you don't really have to use them, but it's all about knowing when to use them and how to use them, which makes them very important. They make the raid very smooth, and it's very good to keep your teammates basically fresh and not stunned or anything like that. So it's really good to have them. Make sure you guys do get them and take them seriously, mostly because they're very useful, and in PvP they are a must. So what better way to practice for PvP than to use it in PvE? So you guys already saw that. You got this, your Burning Determination and your Burnout, and you're good here. Now Backdraft. Backdraft is your pull. 360 degrees. 360 degrees of pull. You must have this as a fire tank. If your fire tank is not using Backdraft, your fire tank is not a fire tank. It is one of the best pulls. Personally, I think it's one of the most, I guess, useful pulls, if not the best pull, personally. This is my own opinion here. It's the best pull because if you think about it, you pull everything around you. So any crowd that's standing around me is going to get yanked to me, which is something that's very important, because if you don't have eyes in the back of your head, you could still pull things from behind. And it's something that's, I guess, how should I say? It's something that's useful when I'm tanking and I jump into a crowd and there's an enemy around me or behind me and I can't see him. If I hit this, it will pull him. And as a matter of fact, let me see if I could show you guys kind of what I mean. So pretend I'm fighting a guy this way. If I'm fighting him this way, I could do this. And look at that. He was behind me and I couldn't see him. So it's a great move. So you have to use it. It's great to group up enemies. It's definitely a real crowd control move, which is something you have to get used to using. It also heals you. If he's lit on fire and I do this, it'll heal me. If you guys saw, Khiron flash like a green there just for a moment, and basically he was healed for it. So that's what happened. Now you have Absorb Heat. Absorb Heat, a lot of people don't really understand. It is kind of a DPS move, but it's technically not, because I can use it very much better in a tank loadout more than a DPS loadout. What it does is pretty much it burns your enemy. Not really burns them, but it basically hits them for damage. Now, considering aggro is generated by might numbers, might being yellow numbers, you can see how many yellow numbers are coming off him. That's basically why it's such a good taunt move, because you can hit this guy from very far, pretty much, and he'll come over to me. If he was an ad, he would walk over to me. And it's a real good, I don't know, I guess really what to call it, way to pull aggro from your teammates. So if you get like the ass, or the asshole, I should say, kind of DPS guy or healer or controller, anybody in the group who decides to hit the enemy before you do, which basically would happen is they would set themselves at the top of the aggro chart, and that right there can cause a problem for the tank to pull them, because if they start throwing their best moves at this guy, I have to fight for that aggro. Now, the great thing about tanks is that to pull aggro, it's not really that hard, but sometimes it's hard because you're going to have to like spam your power to get your enemy's attention for it. The move that's for that is Absorb Heat, because it's one of the best taunt moves. One of the best taunt moves for fire. So make sure you guys get used to it, use it. And again, another good thing about it, you light this guy on fire, you hit him, and you get healed. Now, it's not showing it because I guess I can't really get healed right now. I'm not, like, needing heals, so it heals yourself, but the part that sucks about it, you get stuck in place. So make sure you guys are not like flying when you do it, because you can cancel out of it, but the only problem would be is that you can't cancel when you're flying, because when you're flying, Actually, let me show you when on the ground. When you're on the ground and you do it, you just jump and you get knocked out of it. Alright? So I hit him once, twice maybe, and then I just jump. And then I'm done. Now, if I was flying and I try to jump, I can't do anything. As you can see, Khiron is lagging. He's like, what the fuck is going on right now? So, yeah. So you can't do that. Then, basically, what we have here is our pull. Low pressure. I use this because I'm a flyer. You can only get it as a flyer, and as a matter of fact, let me go into my skills there real quick. Let me go into my flight. If you go into flight, you'll notice that I grab my supersonic, my low pressure, which is the pull. It's a great pull because it adds another pull. It's a group pull. It pulls more than one enemy. And then I get these restraint resistance, these resistance that I may have showed you guys in my other video. These are very important. They give you power back once you use a breakout, pretty much when you spam R1 when you're stunned. So they're very great to use. So these are definitely a must. And then you get your low pressure in the flight tree. So pretty much low pressure is used for fire tanks because fire tanks are at a disadvantage in terms of having a single target pull from far. Just as ice tanks are having I guess they don't really have a problem, I guess, because they glorify the inescapable storm, which is the same shit as low pressure. Nobody should tell you any different. If they think low pressure sucks, they just don't know how to use it, because I can pull from far. I could still pull. So, yeah, that's pretty much a far pull. That's very far. So, it's perfectly fine. Now, what I like to do when I use this loadout, pretty much, if I'm pulling a group of enemies, let's say to me, I'll use low pressure, and I'll combo it with a backdraft. Because if you pull a group of ads, let's say there's 3 guys over there, they're all going to come at me at once. And I'll have to kind of use backdraft to pull them all, group them up in a nice big bunch on top of me, and block. Another great thing to do is if you are basically crowded around and you just need a quick breather and you're just blocking, that's what burnout is for. I kind of pop this and it pushes them away from me, which is great. You can also hit Burning Determination to heal yourself for just a bit. But remember, a fire tank's innate abilities are to multiply its health. So not only am I doing that and giving myself a breather, I'm refreshing my health buff. As you can see, when I use a power under my name, I get that heart bonus. And that basically means my health is beefed up. Now, I'm going to probably fast forward this part because I do need to get a supercharge to show you guys what I use, pretty much, as a supercharge. Alright, that took a bit of a while. I probably should have went to go hit those crystals to refill my supercharge, but, you know, I guess I kind of didn't. That was stupid on my part. Now, Reignition. Reignition is an amazing move. You will heal yourself for quite a bit for using it. Let's read what the power does. Ignite nearby enemies, damaging and knocking them down while healing yourself instantly. And it inflicts burning over time, which would combo very well into Backdraft or Absorb Heat. Now, pretty much here, I'm going to show you guys another cool thing about it, is that you could have up to 4 of these supercharges, which is probably excellent for being a fire tank, because if you're blocking and you're getting pounded on pretty hard, which will be happening, or should be happening, if it's not really happening, then you're not really tanking. But pretty much you're going to be holding block here, and let's say he's beating me up and I just need a way to basically get kind of out of it. I can hit him with this, give him damage, he gets knocked on his ass, and as you can see, Absorb Heat comboed with it. I stunned him with Absorb Heat, like I said before, you can do. And basically healed myself with Absorb Heat, and I also healed myself with the Supercharge. So it's something that's really useful to have if your healers just can't heal you. You bounce the enemies, and you basically give yourself some breathing time for the moment. So it's very good to use. You could also combo with backdraft and heal yourself. So it's a really good versatile loadout in terms of like kind of bouncing, pulling, things like that. And burnout, I don't think it worked on him and knocked him off the edge there because it pushes, like I said. Very good move to use to push. So make sure you use your powers sparingly. Don't just spam through the tree. You'll want to be blocking a lot, of course, as well, and you want to do a lot of pulling with either pulls. This is your good taunt move. Absorb heat. Absorb heat is your taunt move. Low pressure is your pull. Backdraft is your pull. And these are your two breakouts. And that's pretty much the main loadout that I like to use for Khiron here.